Tuna. I love it when it rains and it like ruins my audio. So dramatic. It's autumn. Why is it even raining in autumn? Like, what is going on? You know how sometimes I victim blame the earth for global warming? I'm like, this would not happen to me. And I know this because I have an entire ecosystem living on and within me, and they've never betrayed me, except for the few times that they have. The mites on my eyelashes, you don't see them raising my body temperature for no reason. I'm just saying, you know what I mean? I feel like the earth is being a little bit of a stun queen right now. Hopefully you can't hear the rain and it's not ruining my audio too much, even though I know it probably is. Anyway, this video is about children of men. That's not the name of this book. It's just not called that. Like, that's just not the name. Children of Time by Adrian Tchaikovsky is not a good book. And it's made me scared because I put an Adrian Tchaikovsky book as one of my anticipated reads for this year, and I don't think I'm going to read it. I think I'm going to read it. I think I'm like good, you know? Like, I'll save my request for another book. I mean, if they get it spontaneously, without my requesting it, maybe I'll read it, but like, Anyway, let's talk about Children of Time. This is about Children of Time. It's not about Service Model, a book that isn't out yet. Children of Time has extremely high ratings on Goodreads, many ratings also, so it's not like 2 people gave it 5 stars. Many people gave it 5 stars. So I went into this expecting a good book. Also, spoilers, I didn't finish this. I got about 35% of the way in, and then I read the plot summary on Wikipedia, and I was like, okay, you know what, yeah, glad I didn't try and power through this. Here's the thing with this book, you can see the seams. Adrian Tchaikovsky, I think, just really wanted to write a xenofiction about spiders who are like evolving, becoming smarter or whatever. It's very, you know, the newer Planet of the Apes movies, you know, Caesar became smarter because, I don't know, because he was given experimental whatever. That basically happens in this, but like on another planet. I think that's what he wanted to write. And I think if he had written that, I would have been fine and I would never have picked this up because I don't like xenofiction. And also, I've read better xenofiction. So there's that. He wanted to write that. That's the core of this book. Where he went wrong is in how he went about fleshing it out, building the world of this book. Why are these spiders on this planet? What's making them evolve? Why? All of the whys are where we go wrong. Is the lighting? Can you see me? That's where we went wrong here. So what basically happens is, I got too excited. We're not done yet. We start off the book with an insane woman doing an insane thing. She is seeding this planet. They have terraformed this planet, which, oh my god. Whatever, they've terraformed this planet. At some point they mentioned shifting tectonic plates, and I was like, oh my god, how? How did you do this? From an engineering standpoint, how? And materials. How? Anyway, whatever. It's fine. It's okay. Suspend your disbelief. Number 1, they've seeded it with earth life, everything from microorganism to primates. They have primates that they're going to let loose, and then they're going to spray a virus into the atmosphere. This virus will infect the apes and it will cause them to evolve, you know, for reasons, for hubris reasons, for crazy lady reasons. Her name is, what's her name? Avrada Kern or something like that. Now, as for the why she has been given the resources to do this, I don't know. There's like a throwaway line about the people in the boardrooms being promised to be greeted as gods when they arrive or something. It's just terrible. Just not good. Again, all of this other stuff is an afterthought, right? The book that Adrian Tchaikovsky wanted to write was the smart spiders being big and smart. So everything else reads as the afterthought that it is. Silly. Suspend my disbelief about that. About the fact that anybody would fund this thing. The thing is, you don't even have to try that hard. People will fund anything as long as they get money in return. Whatever it is, however immoral it is, however weird and immoral it is, as long as they get some sort of return on their investment, there's somebody who's willing to pay for it, okay? So anyway, whatever. That's fine. Suspend my disbelief about that. The terraforming and the... Ooh, sun's out. Shall we risk it? Shall we see what the lighting is like? Ooh, okay, hello, natural light. Oh, it's going away. Yeah, okay. Great. That's great. So things go wrong, and that's my third issue. My third suspend your disbelief issue. Weak setup stuff for this is the weird political conflict that's going on Earth that results in things going wrong. on this mission. We basically have a like hippies versus, non-hippies thing. The hippies, in our case, who are against this thing, Adrian Tchaikovsky very cleverly comes up with an acronym for them called nuns. So clever. Oh my god. By the way, did I tell you that the endorsement on the front of this book is by Peter F. Hamilton? Is that gay? That should have told me. Anyway, so there's that conflict. And that results in things going wrong. The monkeys that were going to be on this planet are dead, but the virus still gets released. And you might be asking yourself, Samu, why didn't they just inject the monkeys with the virus rather than like spreading it in the atmosphere? That doesn't make any goddamn sense. I know it doesn't. Again, this man wanted to write xenofiction about spiders. Everything else is an afterthought, and it reads that way, including that. Okay? Cool. So everyone's dead except Avrana. She escapes. In this world, there is cryogenic sleep, but there's no faster than light travel. In science fiction, I usually don't care about how people get from A to B. So she's asleep around this planet. It was supposed to be somebody else, but he was one of the hippies, aka the nuns, who was like, no, we don't want this to happen, so we're gonna blow everything up. Everyone and everything up. So she goes to sleep to await rescue. This planet is like 20 light years away from Earth. So she sends a signal and she expects they'll get it in 20 years and then maybe they'll take another 20 years to get to her. So she's gonna sleep for those years and she sets parameters with the computer to like wake her up if there's a signal. Anyway, so I did mention that there was a virus in the atmosphere and it starts making the spiders clever. This is again a terraformed planet made Earth-like, and the spiders get smart and big, and there are many chapters dedicated to that, written very dryly. We get through many iterations, many generations of spiders, but Tchaikovsky gives them the same names. I read a few of these xenofiction chapters and then just started skipping them completely because it's just, I've read better. I don't like xenofiction, but I've just also read better xenofiction. Like last year, Anne Dickey came out with a very dull book, Translation State, and the best bits of that book were the xenofiction. Like she writes very good xenofiction. She also has a short story out that's xenofiction. Love it. You could have just done that, man. This was dry. This was written very academically. And also some of the science, I was like, girl, did you forget that you're not writing microbes? Like the way that they exchange information? I was like, what are we doing here? Anyway, whatever. So that's what's happening over here. Meanwhile, back on Earth, another thing I had to suspend my disbelief about, the hippies and the people who are like pro doing weird experiments on planets go to war and everyone uses weapons of mass destruction and they destroy the Earth. This is like Greenpeace being like, stop global warming, and using nuclear weapons to bomb like a corporation or something. Again, afterthought. The Earth is completely bricked after some time. Some people escape the Earth on arcs. They go in different directions and they're in cryogenic sleep. They're going off to find, maybe some of these former terraformed planets or whatever. And then we follow one such arc. And they come across Spider Planet, Avrana's little spider planet. Again, she's asleep. She doesn't know that the spiders happened. She thinks her experiment failed because her monkeys died. And that's the story. My other issue with the story is, again, there's no intrigue. You know exactly what is happening from every perspective at all times. There's no mystery. There's no, oh my god, I wonder what's gonna happen. The part with the people on the ark, that's the second story. That's the second storyline. So you have the xenofiction and you have these people. And the storyline is awful. It's so bad. People who don't like this book, from the reviews I've seen and read, as well as people who do like this book, their favorite part of this book is the spider section. I didn't like the spider section. So the human section, oh my god, again, afterthought. And you can tell the characters are flat and uninteresting, just like the writing. There's nobody in this book to root for, not even root for, just like be interested in. Like I didn't even care. There's like a linguist. I think the main character is like a linguist or a classicist, a historian type. And he studies the dead languages of the ancients. And he studies that language and everyone hates him for it or whatever. Okay, cool. There's like a Moby Dick type captain in this. 2 of them, allegedly. There's like a rebellion, which you're like, yeah, of course, I would rebel too. I'm not gonna be left over on this ice planet. Yeah. What were you expecting them to be like? Yeah, okay, cool. Yeah, we'll stay here. So the human sections were a drag to get through because you don't care about anybody and they're bored. And the spider sections were boring to me too because they were written very academically and I don't care about the spiders. I don't care. The most interesting part of Planet of the Apes for me was not like seeing Caesar and the other primates and the monkeys evolve. It was the conflict between man and these primates who have been, basically abused by us. That was the interesting thing. I don't know, maybe that's just me. Anyway, some shenanigans happened and we got to the point where I put the book down, where we have some people who wind up on Spider Planet, dangerous Spider Planet. And that's why I stopped reading, because I was like, oh my god, there's no way you're trying to trick me into reading one of those books, one of those Lost Kingdom books, Finding Atlantis or whatever, finding a secret world in South America, and it's like full of dinosaurs and stuff. One of those books or movies, oh my god. No way. That's when I stopped. I was like, oh my god. And also, I don't care about anybody. I want the spiders to eat everyone and then also go extinct. So to summarize, I found that the writing was like just flat, uninspiring. So were the characters. I didn't care about anybody. I was actively rooting against them. It's never fun to read about a character where you're like, okay, cool, now you're being kidnapped. Cool. Okay, now you're on like a dangerous giant spider planet. Okay, cool, good luck. The plot was silly. The world and the plot surrounding the xenofiction that Adrian Tchaikovsky clearly wanted to write was also silly. And also, this is the biggest issue for me. This is supposedly allegedly hard science fiction. I mean, it is. The what if core sciencey bits were the spiders, even though, again, like I said, some of the things I was like, girl, these are not microbes. What are we doing? But anyway, whatever. That's like the ideas, the hard sci-fi idea parts. Everything else was not. But what I like to get out of science fiction, but especially hard science fiction, is you have obviously your big what ifs, and then you have your smaller what ifs. Basically, nuclei for ideas. Nuclei for ideas. So I have crystallization on the brain. I want that experience that I've had before in other books, of where I'm like reading, I'm enjoying the plot, it's good, but then I come across an idea and I have to put the book down so I can think about the idea, so I can think about, so I can put myself in the situation or see the what if through, or try and find a solution for it, or picture myself in it. Like, what would I do if I was in this? That's what I want. But at the same time, I want to keep reading, but I can't, because I have to I have to see this thing that I just read through. A nice example of this is in Ice Hinge, a book by KSR. It's not my favorite book, but it's all right. In there, people live long. They live very long lives. And there's like stuff about memory. Their memories suffer. Like, you forget many lifetimes. And I just remember stopping. And again, that's not the main thing. There's like other stuff going on, other interesting things. But I remember having to just stop and think about it. And I remember having so much fun trying to think of solutions to this memory thing. That my solutions were very silly. They involved some sort of body cam situation. like, like where's all this information going to be stored? Where are these servers going to be hosted? Underwater? How are we keeping them cool with white electricity? Anyway, whatever. Is it a DVD situation? I don't know. Whatever. But that's what I mean. Like, I had so much fun reading the book, and I had so much fun thinking about the ideas in the book and coming up with my own stories also when I'm daydreaming about it while doing other things as well. I didn't get that from this, like, at all. There are some attempts as well because of the long cryogenic sleep affecting people even when they wake up, not remembering stuff. But no, it doesn't really go anywhere. It's like, okay. Then there's Avrana Kern, and is she still alive? Like, what's going on over there? Has she just become a computer? That's kind of interesting, but it's just, a plot device in this. Nothing's really done with it because, again, this book is just wants to be about the spiders. Spiders in the jungle and people running away from the spiders in the jungle. I assume that's what happens. Anyway, I'm disappointed, and this is not the first time I've ever been disappointed by very popular science fiction. Looking at you, Expanse, Leviathan Wakes, terrible book. I have my best luck when I just read random books that I come across in my own life, or recommendations from people who know my taste and all of that. The popular books just are not doing it for me.